All right, guys. First off, I just want to say sorry that I'm not there. Unfortunately, I came down. I tested positive with COVID. I feel fine. I just have a little runny nose, but I did test positive, so I am going to be out for a while. I can't return until the 13th. So you guys will be without me the rest of this week and all of next week, and then I'll return. So, um, hopefully, you will get done what you need to get done and everything will work out. Please know that you can always email me, and I'm going to try to do my best to make sure I'm making some videos that you can see that will hopefully answer any questions that you might have. I most likely will extend the due date um, of the lab report, but I do need you guys to be able to get all your data so that when I come back, I can go over what you need to kind of do to finalize your lab report. So, first things first, today I want to kind of go over this right here. So, under classwork, under group hypothesis for first two variables, if you open this, it tells you that just one person in the group needs to submit this to me, and this needs to be submitted today. So please make sure that before you really do anything as far as testing anything with the wind turbines, that you as a group sit down and do some research about what variable you're going to change and how that change should affect the power generation of your wind turbine. So for today, the goal is to get two variables tested. And because I'm not there for one, and two, because I need to kind of have another teacher go in there and organize the boxes that I have for things like width of blades and length of blades and shape of blades. Try to go today with variables that are pretty easy to change. Um, Normally I wouldn't tell you what you should change, but the angle of the blades is a variable that is really easy to change, and one that will certainly affect the output of your wind turbine. So I would suggest, I'm not going to tell you you have to, but I would suggest that's one variable you should test today. And then so you should research what the angle of the wind turbines do and how that will affect your power output. Um, Other variables that are pretty easy to test right off would be like the distance the turbine is from the fan, the angle of the fan, things like that. The number of blades is pretty easy. I do have a box towards the front of the classroom that should be labeled with control blades, extra control blades, and you could just grab a number of extra control blades and change the number of blades. One thing you really need to be certain of is that, say for the first test you're changing the angle, you only change the angle, everything else needs to be kept constant. So you really need to make sure that the only thing you're changing for the first test would be, say, the angle of the blades. If you do the distance the fan is from the turbine, then you need to make sure that you put everything back to the way the control group is. So the reason for the control group is so you have something to compare to. So you know that if you, whatever change you're making to your independent variable, you know that that change is going to either give you more power or less power. And so the ultimate goal is to say, well, if I make this change and this change and this change and combine these three variables, I will have the most efficient wind turbine. So you need to methodically test one thing at a time, though, to see what the best setup is going to be. Okay, so today your goal is to get two variables tested. And so you need to submit on here. Please only have one person in the group submit this document, and then the other people in the group can just put mark as done. Okay, but I do need to go through and kind of see what your hypothesis looks like, because this is the hypothesis that will go into your lab report. So you're actually starting your lab report right now as you do the hypothesis. Okay, if you have questions on that, I'm going to be home all day tomorrow. I'll be on my computer and I will answer any emails as they come in. Okay. So that's that. And then I really need to stress that you need to go through this right here, the Wind Turbine Efficiency Lab Report. And so when you come over here, this is where you're going to do your data collection. And so I intentionally did not make this make a copy for each person. So what I want one person in the group to do is make a copy of this document and then share it with the other people in the group and give them editing rights so that if you're not there next class, other people in your group can edit the document. And since we're only turning in one lab report, it doesn't matter that um, one person or that you're sharing data and that you'll be sharing a graph that you'll make from this data. Okay. So I do want to point out that, and I have to move this apparently. Um, Sorry about this right here. I'm going to move this over. On the bottom over here, you can see there are different tabs. The first tab is for the control data. So for trial one, this right here is your data from the first day. So your control data from day one is up on the board. Now, today, you should do trial two and enter your data here. As you enter in your data, it will automatically take the average for you right here, and that average will be in milliwatts. Now, we won't go 6 days. I think we'll end up going 5 days, but you'll just every day you will take the control data, and then we'll have an average of your control over that time. This is all of your control data. So again, if you're changing the length of the blades eventually, everything else should be kept the same, and you would only change the length of the blades. If you're going to change the width of the blades, everything else would be kept the same, and you would only change that one variable. So this is your kind of go-to to make sure that you're only changing one of these things at a time. Okay. For the power of the wind, I have an anemometer in the front of the room. Unfortunately, since I'm not there and I can't show you how it works and I can't really explain this to you right now, I may end up giving you my first period class today was able to collect this data. So I may just share that data with you. Because what we're doing is we're going to look at the wind speed from 3 different locations on the fan at low setting, at medium setting, and at high setting, and see how much power the wind, the fan is giving the turbine, and then how much power the turbine is then converting into electrical energy. And that's how we're going to calculate our efficiency. So the formula for power from the fan is right here, 3.18 times the wind speed cubed. And so I will end up probably giving you this information. It depends on if I can get it off quarantine earlier or not, but I will likely end up giving you this information. So then the next tab over is your first variable. So it's labeled data table 3, and then you would just put in what your variable is here. Say you do angle of the blades, you would name this table with angle of the blades. Your name it here would be angle, and then you would list under here what that angle is, and in here you would have angle, and then it would be measured in degrees. Now remember, you can't put anything but numbers in this cell right here because Sheets does not like anything but numbers. So your angles, if you were doing that, would go in here. The power that you register on your energy sensor would go here. And at this time, you won't be able to do the efficiency because you don't know how much power you're getting from your fan. So I'll go over with you when I return how to do this column, but at least you'll have this all filled out. When you do several trials of different angles on this one, if you're doing angle, then you just go on to the next one and you create your data table. You can basically copy and paste from here over here and just again rename what the data table is. It'll be data table 4. You'll name it, and then identify what your independent variable is, how much power is produced, and then the efficiency would go here later on. And you can see that the tabs go out to go to 5 different variables. Again, the goal today is to just get 2 variables tested. If you don't get to 2, it's okay, but just try to work methodically and well, and making sure that you're keeping things constant the whole time. So what I mean by that is, if you are changing the angle, make sure that you're not changing the distance, that you're taping down your wind turbine to your desk so that the distance doesn't change. Make sure you're using the same gear. Make sure everything is the same. Although I can't stress it enough, everything needs to be constant except for the one variable you're changing. Okay. So that's essentially what you will try to do today. And I will try to maybe over the weekend sneak into school and get some boxes set up that will have different length blades and compositions and things like that if you want to test those variables on Monday. Okay. Um, so again, basically what you need to get done for today, you've already done the warm up, is do the 2 things for the wind turbine lab, and make sure, sorry about that, make sure you submit to me your hypothesis. So submit your hypothesis right there, one person from the group. Make sure you clean up and have everything ready for the next group to come in. Leave your energy sensors at the table, and I'll have one of the teachers charge those overnight so they're ready to go for the next day. Okay. So again, I'm sorry I'm not there. If you have questions, please send me an email, and I will be happy to get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. So work well and enjoy your day, and I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Okay. Thank you so much. See you later.